My name is RanDe Rogers, or Chef RanDe, as some call me, and my business is Sisters Cuisine, Sisters Caribbean Cuisine. It's located on 124th between Park and Madison in Harlem, in New York City. We've been here coming up on 25 years now. The restaurant was founded by my mother back in 1995. My family is Guyanese, they're Guyanese immigrants. We started my mother, her sister, and one of her nieces. Her and her sisters collaborating to create a business and some of the best Caribbean food that anyone in the city's ever had. So I was 6 when this restaurant opened, and our menu pretty much hasn't changed since. So in 25 years, if the food wasn't great, trust me, if people didn't enjoy it, we would have changed it. But the idea was really to be a taste of the Caribbean. So we have a lot of traditional Guyanese dishes, but also we do some traditional Jamaican, Trinidadian as well, and we do some traditional Southern dishes. So that's why we say we're Caribbean and soul food. We have a stronger cultural grounding in both Indian cuisine, which most people know Indians known for their powerful spices and flavors, as well as a lot of South American cuisine, which is a little bit more diverse in its ingredients, because obviously you've got a whole continent to work with versus a little island of produce. So there's a traditional Guyanese chow mein. People hear chow mein, the last thing they thinking is Caribbean food. But we don't serve it at the restaurant anymore on a day-to-day basis, but when we open, we serve it all the time. It's one of our favorite things for caterings. Those people who really know Guyanese food, that's what they love. So that's an example of that influence. Our West Indian and the Guyanese curry is very different than a lot of the other curries that you find, versus like even a Thai curry. It's a lot more powerful in its flavor. There's a lot more kick, a lot more spice. We don't do the whole coconut cream, which I really think flattens it in a lot of Asian curries. So those are 2 examples of how those old and globally remote cultures have drastically influenced that of Guyana. We really want it to be a taste of the Caribbean, something that's truly authentic when someone comes here and experiences it. And I think that, we've achieved that, or we wouldn't be here as long as we've been. We don't advertise, we don't sell beer and wine. I know we got a lot of famous chefs that come in, we got a lot of famous actors that come in. Our food is our saving grace. That's for sure.
Quality.
3 hours.
Fresh ingredients, a home-cooked meal.
So our most popular sellers are definitely the oxtails and the curry chicken roti, and our vegetable plates and our vegetable rotis. Those 3 are definitely our most popular items. And so when we opened, one of our main customers was actually Rastafarians, which is pretty funny because now the whole market is sort of trended towards veganism and all of these things. We've been doing that since '95 because that's who was coming in our door, and that's what they expected. Our vegetables are banging. They're really flavorful. We've got a great variety. None of them have any dairy in them, so it's very accessible and very on trend. When it comes to the oxtails, we just cook it better than everybody else. There are a couple things where it's just like, when you're doing it better, you're doing it better. And I can say that because there's no lack of imitators, right? So we've been here 25 years. You could go 5 blocks and find about 6 businesses, restaurants trying to do the exact same menu as us. And they open and they close, and they open and they close. Because we show the care, we take the time, and we make sure to do it right, and our customers come first. In this restaurant, my restaurant, is absolutely gorgeous, but I really cannot take any credit for it. So my mother is the aesthetic genius when it comes to our look. Outside of the artwork, which gets updated every now and then, and obviously we try and get new flowers every week if we can. We want it to be reflective of our community. You're going to see a lot of women represented on the walls. It's called Sisters. We want to promote Black excellence, Black women excellence, Black girl magic, all that. And yeah, my mother is an immigrant. Our family is, a huge one that we have here, have all immigrated to this nation. And, we wouldn't be able to pay our bills if it wasn't for America and how hard immigrants work as well. So we thought that it's important, given the current political climate as well, that we remind people that if you love this food, immigrants were the reason you get to have it. There is no traditional American cuisine. People know that, and even if you go back to what is traditional American cuisine, that you could only say is Southern, and Southern, everyone knows, is straight West African cuisine. So that's just African cuisine brought over by slaves and then co-opted by white Southerners.
As a community, what we love about Sisters is the one place you know you can come to where the ingredients are fresh and the food is quality. And it's the best place to come and get a home-cooked meal.
Hi, I'm Randy Rogers. I'm the owner, operator, and chef of Sisters Cuisine, and you're watching Taste of the Town. Today I'm going to be making a chicken roti for you guys. We make it fresh to order in Sisters Cuisine. Every single order we make it fresh to order. So first thing, I get the dough. So this is our roti dough. It's been pre-made out. And it's got oil on it to keep it from drying out too much. I'm gonna put some flour down to keep it from sticking. And so the roti is actually rolled thin, and then we put a thin layer of oil, and it's rolled up again so that it gets a nice flaky texture when it's done baking. And it's baked on a stove top with a traditional Guyanese pan called a tawa. And you guys will see that in a second. Take this. Make sure that fire is nice and hot. It should take about 5 to 8 minutes, depending on how hot the tawa is when you put it on, and how backed up we are, how easy it is to roll out. So we got a very small kitchen here. My whole restaurant's 800 square feet total. We're doing the very best we can with the space that we have, always. And you know, like I said, customers always come first for us. We're very big on cooking fresh. So if I wanted to make sure I had everything, I could cook one big batch a week and just keep pulling from a freezer, but I don't like that. I don't like the way the food comes out that way. It's just cheaper, and it's just not good. So if you see here, this side's starting to bubble up. This side isn't. That's because over here is gonna be a little less hot than over here, depending on the thickness of the metal, all that. So you're just gonna rotate it like this, so that we get a nice even cook. And before the first flip, you wanna have a nice spots of brown. So here, if you take a look here, I flip it just like this. You want it to look like that everywhere. But you see it's not as colored over here. That's why we're rotating it. All right, and see now you're starting to get bubbles all over. I'm gonna flip it over here. And now we're gonna oil right on top. And this is gonna sink into that dry bread that's just dried out. And we flip it back over. That's what's gonna create that awesome flakiness. All right, I'm gonna turn that fire off. And traditionally, and how we used to do it is you would just clap it. That's how you do it back home. You get a paper towel, you roll it, and you clap it. But my staff was crying that their hands was burning, they couldn't do it, it's taking too long, making a mess. They were running through all my paper towels. So I got them this little bucket now, and we clap in the bucket. You slide it into the bucket. And I clap it up. It's gonna be nice and flaky. So I'm gonna look for the best looking piece right around here. I'm gonna fold it in half. And I take it like this, put it down. And I'm actually gonna make this one for my father, so it's gonna be extra special. Here we go. So there's gonna be a little bit of curry potato and chickpeas at the bottom. The curry chicken. I'm going to close it here. Let me do a touch of the candied yams, because you need the sweet yams with everything. So the candied yams, it's just basically the perfect little sweet balance to the plate at Sisters. So we cook with a lot of spice, and it helps people cut it. If you can't take a lot of heat, especially if you're eating the jerk chicken or the curry goat, You need to have the candied yams just to cool it down when you need to bring it down a little bit. And there we go.
Delicious. This is a roti. This is a chicken roti. And the bread was freshly made in the back. We just made it.
What is that on the side? Is that
That's yams. I like to take it like this and eat it. Pull the bread off and eat it.
How's everything?
I can get that in beef?
Okay, you still working on it?
Actually,
See, I want more butter because I'm gonna wait for you. Go ahead. You can find Sisters Cuisine at 47 East 124th Street. That's 124th between Park and Madison in Harlem, New York City. You can also find us on Instagram at Sisters Cuisine Harlem, as well as on Facebook and on Google, Twitter, Yelp, all that stuff. You will also find me at Harlem Chef on Instagram as well.